It has a really beautiful design to the fabric. On this video, I'm going to teach you how to do the 5-star Marguerite stitch. I'm going to be using a 4mm hook and some cotton yarn size 4. So for this stitch, you want to start with a foundation chain that's a multiple of 2. So in my case, I have 16. For row 1, we're just going to work 1 single crochet into each of the chains of the foundation chain. So we're going to skip the first chain and into the second do a single crochet. And now you want to do 1 single crochet into each chain. So do that and I'll see you at the end of this row. And this here is the end of row 1. For row 2, we're going to chain 3 and flip our work. We're going to work what's called a Marguerite cluster. This first one's worked a little bit differently than every other one of this row. So for the first one, you want to insert your hook into the second chain from the hook and grab the yarn and pull through. You're going to do that into the third chain from the hook as well. Grab the yarn, pull through. So you have 3 loops in your hook. And now you're going to insert your hook into each of the next 3 stitches. So insert your hook into the first one, grab the yarn and pull through. And into the next, grab the yarn, pull through. And one more time, grab the yarn, pull through. So you should have 6 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 6. That's the Marguerite cluster. Now you want to chain 1. So the beginning of the row repeat is going to be now. We're going to be working a Marguerite cluster. For this one onwards, they're going to be different. You want to yarn over, go into the loop that kind of closed the Marguerite stitch, this one here, into there. You've yarned over and insert your hook, grab the yarn and pull through. So that's going to give you 3 loops in your hook. Now you're going to go into the stitch that you finished the Marguerite cluster into. So into that stitch, you just insert your hook, grab the yarn and pull through. You have 4 loops in your hook. And now you're going to go into each of the next 2 stitches. So into the next, grab the yarn, pull through. Into the next, grab the yarn, pull through. And so now you have 6 loops in your hook, yarn over, pull through all 6 for a Marguerite cluster. And now to finish the row repeat, you chain 1. And that's that. You're going to do a Marguerite cluster plus chain 1. Let's do that one more time together. You yarn over, go into this loop that closed the Marguerite cluster, grab the yarn, pull through, and now you're going to insert your hook into the last stitch that you did the cluster into, grab the yarn, pull through, and now into each of the next 2 stitches. Insert your hook, grab the yarn, pull through, insert your hook, grab the yarn, pull through. So now you have 6 loops in your hook, yarn over, pull through all 6. And then we chain 1. And that's the repetition. So do that until you get to the end of the row, and I'll see you when you're there. So at the end of the row, you'll see that you're left with 2 stitches to do your final Marguerite cluster. So we're going to yarn over, go into the loop that closed the previous cluster, grab the yarn, pull through, and now into the stitch of the last cluster, and now into each of the next 2. 6 loops in your hook, yarn over, pull through all 6. And now we're going to chain 1. So this here ends row 2. For row 3, we're going to chain 1 and flip our work. We're going to do 1 single crochet into the loop that closed the last Marguerite stitch. So it's this one right here. Into there, we're doing a single crochet. Now we're going to start the row repeat. You do 1 single crochet into the next chain space. So this one right here, a single crochet. And now 1 single crochet into the next loop that closed the cluster from the previous row. So basically this row is just single crochets, and you want to make sure that you do 1 into the chain space and 1 into the loop that closed the Marguerite cluster of the previous row. So you do that, and I'll see you at the end of the row. Okay, so at the end of the row, I just want to show you that you've done your single crochets all the way through, and you're going to want to also do 1 into the top of the turning chain. So into the top of the turning chain, your final single crochet. And this can be a little bit tricky to see, or at least it was for me at the beginning. So The way that you can make sure that you have enough single crochets is by remembering what number you had for the foundation chain. So for example, mine was 16, meaning I have at the very first row, I have 15 single crochets. And so here in this row, I should also have 15 single crochets. So you can count those to make sure that you've gone into the right spaces. And this here is the end of row 3. So moving forward, you want to repeat rows 2 and 3 back and forth until you have the desired length of your work or a finished swatch. This is really pretty, really different texture to the fabric. It's quite tight, so it's nice and structured, but it adds a different effect to the fabric. Really pretty. Hey, while you're at it, why don't you just subscribe to my channel? Just do it. Just do it.